Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to session 7 of How to CAD Almost Anything. We're almost nearing the end, so I'm very excited because I think today is the last time that we're gonna learn something that is useful. Because what we'll do next time is really putting everything together into like one last project. So let's go ahead and get started with today. So this is what we did last time. We worked on the Lego bricks. I think it was a lot of fun. So today we're gonna learn about configurations. And I think we're gonna start today by re-looking at the example of the Lego bricks. I was playing around with it a little bit, and I realized that we could do it's a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah. So any questions? So I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna just to give you an idea. After the Lego bricks, we're gonna go to like the Canon camera. So we're gonna do some modeling in there. Yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's go straight to Onshape, and I'm gonna make this big. As you can see, I already have a bunch of pictures of the camera, but I'm gonna leave that for afterwards. Let me go here to class demos. I'm gonna create a folder for week 7. Here we go. I'm gonna create a document that I'm gonna call Lego figure part. There we go. Yeah, so the main premise for this time is that yes, last time we designed the brick, we used the drawing. We're not gonna be as detailed this time. But the reality is, what if I told you that just now, yes, with one singular part, without having to create multiple versions of the same part, you could have like thousands of pieces. So let's give it a shot. So the first thing I want to do is there is a little tab right here when you go to plane that's called variable. So I'm gonna click in variable, and what we could call this one, I'm gonna call this, I'll call it X stats. So stats is like the little circles, right? Like the little cylinders, and this is just a number, and I'm gonna say that X stats. I'm gonna make it originally 4. So these are gonna be the number of stats on the X direction. I'll say 4. Very good. And now I'm gonna create yet another variable here. I'll call it number. I'll call it Y stats. I'm not sure why it's giving me. Oh, I don't think it allows. Maybe that one might do the trick. Yeah, then let me just rename this. It doesn't allow for that. I'm gonna call it Y stats. So today, this is the point. We're gonna learn about how to use variables, equations, putting everything together. So once we have that, and then maybe what we could do is add one more variable that I'm gonna call uh maybe here assign. I'm thinking maybe should we call this one height? No, it's fine. Let's make it simple. So let's go here to sketch and let's go here to top and let's do a rectangle. It doesn't matter the size. And once you do a rectangle, right click on D, and we're gonna give this a dimension. And you write now the hashtag symbol and you click on Xstats. Now, Xstats is telling you the number of little circles, but if we remember from the math, I think every stat corresponds to 8 millimeters. So I can do 8 times Xstats. So the number in there would be 32. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing here. I'm gonna click on D. I'm gonna add the hashtag symbol. And you can also create, if you do hashtag, you can create a new variable there. But go here to Y stats and I'll say right. I'm gonna also say 8 times Y stats. Very good. So you see how it's you know it's an equation because it has like the fx in there like as part of the dimension. And now I can just give this height. Uh, for now, we're gonna make this simple and leave that as 9.6, which is the standard height. And I'm gonna hide all of these things. Yeah, so today we're Lego designers. Well, we were also Lego designers last time. We're a little bit smarter today. It's important just a note that whenever you're creating variables, that is the very first thing that you create because I can also move the behind, but you see, it's gonna give me an error because it's not gonna recognize I did the sketch, and then I'm also referencing a variable that comes afterwards. You have to always bring it to the top. There we go, like that. And now I'm gonna go here to sketch, and I'll go here to the first face, the top face of this thing. And what we could do is actually I could go. I'm gonna go back in time for a second. I'm gonna create one more variable to make this an even more generalizable Lego brick. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do this because it's it's gonna miss or it's gonna generalize the distance. It doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go here. I'll create a construction line like this, and then I'll make the 8. Yeah. So the one thing that I want this to be fixed is the well, actually, this one should be that should be 4 and 4. There we go. But now I can create the like a little circle in there. Let's make that 4. It doesn't matter for today. I'll make that. I think it was like 1.6. Okay, so now this is we're gonna have some fun. So we're gonna create now another sketch here in the top face of this thing. And as usual, let's add some text, right? So let's call it the same drill as last time. I'm gonna call that Lego. And again, they mentioned that to be, I think, 1. Oh, I'm gonna bring it all the way here. I'll bring. Oh wow, but it's just never. And you can like, I'm gonna center it in here. So maybe let's see. I'm gonna make a line that goes. Then I. Oh, I see. There we go. Perfectly. Yeah, and you can just give it like a tiny bit of volume, like 0.1, like this. Perfectly. Yeah, so far it's like nothing that we haven't done. But now, what I think it's gonna be nice is because when we go to do the like the linear pattern in here, I'm gonna say, right, we're gonna make a feature pattern, and the features that we want are extrude 2 and extrude 3, and the direction is gonna be another face. I'm gonna choose that, and I'm gonna say that I want the distance to be 8. I wanna change it, but in here I'll add again the hashtag symbol, and I'll make it xstats, and then I'll say second direction. I wanna choose here, and also make it 8. That's why it's important to like standardize this thing, and again hashtag symbol y stats. Perfectly. I was getting here, but you can play around in here now, change like whatever dimension that you want. Let's make that 4. And you see that indeed it's working, right? Like you get like a different size brick, super easy. So let's give this some one last thing. I just want to make like the bottom hollow. So I'm gonna do here a sketch, and the best way to do it is I'm gonna do offset entities, and I'll make it an offset entities of I think it was like 1 millimeter. Yeah, I think that should work. Uh, and I want to remove having starting offset also 1. Uh, oh no, I see what I think I messed up. I'm gonna do it from here. Now, yes. Perfect. So now we got our brick, and I think promising we're gonna leave it at this level of detail. That way we can then move on into a little bit more complicated stuff. Now, there's a couple of things that we can do. We can go here to variable table, and we can see that the variables that we created, which are those two, appear here. So I can also change them from there, and it will update automatically too. So we have a pretty unique brick, which is a 2x5. Doesn't exist in the Lego universe, which I think it's funny. Um, one one other thing I want to do, which could be very interesting, is when we did the Lego pattern in here, I can also let's see what happens if I can suppress this feature. Oh, but that's gonna yeah, it's gonna complain. It's fine. Well, I'm gonna leave it like this. Okay, so let's imagine this is our brick in here. So we can go here to it says configuration panel, and it's allowing you right. You can create a new actually no custom. So I'm gonna create a new configuration. So you can click here where it says list. Okay, so I'm gonna call this one like A, whatever, right? B, C, just like different version. Actually, yes, let's call them for now AB actually, and then we can be more specific. And then where it says configure features, those are every column of this table can represent, say, a different thing. I think because most things depend on these two variables, it makes sense that the features that we configure are those two. So I can click in configure features, and it's telling you, all right, select something. I'm gonna say this. And I say, okay, done. Oh, actually, I don't think I did it properly. The value, very good. And I say done, and now I'm gonna add another one. I'm gonna click on X, I click on where it says value, and then say done. Okay. So now what I think it's cool is that let's play around with the numbers, right? Let's say that's 7, that's like 4, that's like 1, that's a total. So if we did the design correctly, then this means that up here, or you can either double click in there, or now there's a new panel that appears there. So I can go here to A, and it just changes automatically. Oh wow! We got a new Lego brick in there. It's beautiful. Um, oh, it doesn't matter. But what I can say in here is that I want the name to be like generally you call the bricks by the number of stats. So this one can be a 4x5. This one could be a 4x7. This can be a 4x9. And the default, it doesn't matter, right? It's just so we can continue creating versions. You can have a 6x9. You can have a 2x7. So I'm just gonna input those numbers here. But this is great. And then one last thing is that if we go here to configure properties, which is that tab, so these are like, yes, on the table, we can change the value of these two variables. And that's why I think it's important to like establish the variables at the beginning, be strategic about the design, and then you can play around here. Now, there's a couple of other things that we can modify. The one that I think we care about is the appearance. So for instance, now the default one, I can now change the color of, let's see. I'm just gonna change the green. That one, oh no. So in other words, now we need to remember all of these colors, right? But what I could say is, well, now if I change between configurations, you see that all of the colors should technically change as well, given the ones that we just put in there. So I can create another 2x7. And this one, this version of the brick, it's I guess that's brown. I have no idea what that color is, or what you can call it, but we can make another one that's red. So I go back here, I go to that version, I say, right, I want that one to be red. So yes, it's a pain because now, yes, let's go to the red version. You see it appears. So then what's fantastic is if we go to the assembly and we go here to insert, it will tell you, right, which one of all of these ones do you want to bring. So I can bring a 2x7 that is this brown one, and then I can bring the red version of this one like that. So you can have both side by side. So this is a way to, I guess, color different bricks. Even though we're not gonna do that on this time because you guys all YouTubers that are out there, I should try for yourselves to build some of this. But I think it's pretty cool. So if you have the patience, like an afternoon that you have no idea what to do, it's just you can create lots of different Lego bricks. It's a matter of inputting the in there. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And I think there's a way to synchronize this stuff to an Excel table. That way might be a little bit easier to create some of these things. I haven't looked too much into that. I think it's useful to have it. There's another thing that I learned, which is, I mean, not particularly like relevant, but I think it's cool. Is if you go to appearance panel, you can change the color of sketches. For instance, sketch one is that one, right? Which is all of these lines. Currently it's gray, but I can make that like green if for some reason you wanted to have the sketch be same thing with what is sketch two? I don't remember that one, right? Sketch two is gray, but I can go there and make it violet. So where you can visualize it in different colors. If it's still useful to anyone. Yeah, so that's a very quick snap. And yes, and you can configure more properties like that. This is a quick snapshot of how to create, an introduction to configurations and whatnot. Now let's go into the real challenge of today. Now that we have an idea of how this works, let's design a camera. So the original challenge for today was making the Mario Kart, and I think while they're vastly different things, we eventually will do the Mario Kart. What this and the Mario Kart have in common is that it's the first time that we're probably gonna look at pictures in this. And it's a nice exercise to use equations because we can say, all right, we can modify the width of the camera, the length, and perhaps the height as well of the main shape. And then we're gonna, actually, before let's do one last thing. Now, let's grab this random brick and let's do a sketch here on that face. And I'm gonna make a line that goes like that. And then a tiny circle. I was forgetting about a very, 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 very important thing. And let's make an extrude cut. Let's remove material. So now you have that big circle that goes like that, right? If we go to configurations, we're gonna add a new configuration. Once you do perfect. So let's go back to here to configurations. Let's click in that box. Perfect. And let's add one that's called a checkbox. And I'm gonna call it hole because I think it's funny. So for this one, where it says add configure features, actually not even like in this extrude file, we can right click there and there's a part where it says configure suppression. And I'm gonna add this one to hole. So what does this mean? That I'm gonna say that I'm gonna unclick that one, which means when we go here, right now we have, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different main parts, and then we have a version that has the hole, a version without the hole. But if I unclick that one, then the hole doesn't show it there. Now, what I'm trying to understand is why is it that all of the colors change? Oh, I'll probably need to. Oh, I see. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, this is the annoying part of the colors. Is that now, actually, I don't need to do all of these ones, but I'm gonna make a red one so I can change the color here. Let's say like that, whatever that is. But now it's now adding the whole as a part, right? Because if I were to click here, yes, it appears. Now, theoretically, let's see, if I unclick the color, oh, it's not staying. Where did it? Hold on. Let me go to like another. So the colors only show when the whole is selected, if I'm not mistaken. But if I were to unselect it, because you have to add an additional configuration here, I'm gonna unclick that one, which means if I go to the red one, now yes, it's showing. And if I show with the whole as well, because now I have two configurations plus the click and unclick. It's a little bit annoying, which means that for the colors, yes, you have to select all of these different versions. I think for Sketch 5, I'm also gonna add it there. Okay, well, that way it doesn't. Let me just go like that. Okay.
Did you to add the these here, like on the configuration?
Yes. Do you have the whole? That one. And it appears there, right? So the other way around. Perfectly. So now when we go to configure properties, I want to add another pink one, and I'm gonna say, all right, that push it this color. There. So what I think is if we go to pink, we have that, and if we unclick the whole, it still remains pink. Now, one last thing is I don't want that sketch to show, which I can also click on the sketch and go here to configure suppression and also add it there. So now it doesn't show you.
Oh,
Yeah, so it gives you a lot of customization
yes,
now.
yes.
Yeah, so the world now is a lot bigger and simpler to some extent. Whether it makes sense to do like a configuration table like this one or to copy paste a part is depends on the scenario. But now they're showing up here, which is very nice. So in fact, maybe when I insert the part, it lets me select whether I want it with the whole. Let's see how does that look. The 1 by 9. Okay, let's bring the. It doesn't have the whole, but I can also bring the 1 by 9 with the whole, and boom. So now you can play with Legos like this. Yeah, so a little bit simpler. Okay, so now yes, let's do the camera. So why did I remember just a second ago about this? Because I want to do a version of the camera that has this zoom, a version of the camera that has that zoom in there, a version of the camera that doesn't have the zoom at all, that only shows you that, and one that has like the smaller zoom. So we'll see how complicated we have a lot of time actually to do it. So we'll try to we have to be strategic about this. So let's give it a shot. And then I also have the logo, the Canon logo, because we can do like a trace in there as well. All right, so let's go here to Onshape and let's create I create here document Canon camera. So this is fun because it's we're gonna do it on the spot. We'll see how well or bad it looks like. No, we don't need a picture yet. Like you'll just need it as a reference for now. Um, but I think looking at a picture like this one in here, obviously we're gonna start modeling the overall shape, right? Like a big rectangle, and then from looking at this, there's like an extrusion that comes out. There's like a shape that looks like that, and then so we'll see how we start adding. But in terms of variables, right, we can change a little bit like the overall length, the width, and the height. So that's the first thing that we're gonna do. We're gonna go here to variables, this width, so maybe yeah, 20 millimeters could do the trick there. I think there was a picture that had the sizes. 75 millimeter. Wow, that's big. We're gonna do a different version then. Here. Then height. Gonna choose maybe 50. And then another one for length. Choose 80. Perfectly. And then we can start a new sketch here on the top plane. And let's do it. So let's do a rectangle. And I'm gonna click on D. And I'll make the width the hashtag symbol. Yeah, hashtag symbol length. And then the height, hashtag symbol height. I like the I mean the size the size looks decent. Okay. Excellent. Now the problem is that because we want everything to be referenced from these three dimensions, right? We're never gonna, well, in most cases, we're never gonna like input a number that is just exists by itself. We want them to be at least related to this. That's why when I change that number to like 30 or whatever, everything else will change with that. And I'll bring it back to 20. I,
We put 20 and 80.
I think maybe one of these. Oh, yeah. Okay. Perfectly. Okay. So now the next feature that we can start adding to this is like this central area in there. So we can go, if we look at the camera, more or less, it's a little bit to like the right. So let's see if we can draw it out. So I'm gonna go here to sketch, and I'm gonna do a sketch here in the top face. And I think the best way to do this is more or less, it seems that the camera can be divided into four parts. You have like a quarter that is in there, and then the remaining three quarters are in here, just to more or less keep it like consistent in terms of size. So I'm gonna create first a line that goes like that, and then two more construction lines to go like this, and then a bunch of construction lines that go like that. And I will make all of these equal. Very good. So in other words, we're gonna use these three quadrants, these six quadrants to work on the camera side. Having done that, I think that we can probably. Maybe this should be fine. Actually, I think. uh, like it because this is where we can get creative, really. Like there's no specific way of doing this, which is what I find fantastic. We are camera designers today. I'm just making a bunch of things here that I'm using as a reference. Okay. Wanna be 15, yeah. Maybe a little bit more. No, actually. And you can do the exact same one. In fact, I like the dimensions of that one, so maybe I'm gonna change that to 40 on mine as well. And then I'm just gonna make a black line here to finish up the sketch. And then I'm making a center circle. Exactly, that's where we're gonna have. So I think with sketch 2, we're probably gonna use this one as you would expect as a master sketch, and then everything else will reference it from here. Yeah, this looks decent on here. I'm thinking what other features we can add. Maybe this will be fun. I'm gonna maybe add one more rectangle that goes like that. That's gonna be like the handle on the side. So I'm gonna click here, and once you've done that, I'll just say okay. Click here. Perfect. Okay. So now let's do. Well, I'm gonna rename this one. Let's rename it as master. That way we have that. We'll probably have a bunch of these sketches, and I'm gonna do yet another sketch where all on this face, where all I'm gonna do is just convert this one right here. Shoot that by maybe 10. And yeah. Second. There we go. Oh, let me show you. Yeah, so in the new, so I did a new sketch. Yeah, that face is perfect. Oh. And I'm just gonna compare it like that. It's maybe like 10 on one direction, and then second end position, I'm gonna say up to faces. Okay. It's just kind of, taking shape. It's gonna be a different variety of camera. We'll slowly add more details to all of this. So then naturally, I'm gonna go to one of these pictures. Actually, we're using all of this as we're gonna call it inspiration, right? Because otherwise, it's not proper. Um, Before we do anything, I think we can be a little bit more generous with. I wanna go here to edit. Maybe I'll make that 15. Just a little thicker. There we go. Because now what I want to do is a profile here on the side. So I'm gonna do a sketch here on this side. And if you look at at like the camera, right? It has like a curve that goes all the way like that. And then there's it goes towards the inside, right? So it looks. Oh, I love this. I'm just saying. I get excited when I look at all of these things. That way the YouTube people can see it. So we're gonna see here on the and also on the side of the camera, I think as well. So then we're gonna do a cut that will give it the shape like this, like on the side. But I want to see here if on the side, no, but that we can feel it. We can feel it. Yeah. So we're gonna use this cut that we're gonna do now to give it that overall like arch like that. Okay, I think I have an idea. Let me just think for a second. I want to do this. Well, actually, before we do that sketch, maybe I'm gonna do another sketch here on this face, and I will do a rectangle that goes all the way from here to there, and I'm gonna give that one 5 millimeters. Because if we look again at like the side view, let's see. Let's take uh, where is it? So many pictures here. Um, you see like the arch ends like there, and then there's like a little bit of a slot. So that's what that's gonna represent. And then we're gonna add like the stuff in there. And it makes you appreciate more cameras, right? When you look at this sort of stuff. So let's do it. Okay, so now yes, let's do a sketch here on this side face. And what we can do, which is gonna simplify our life a lot, is we can convert entities and I can select that entire face. So look at that. That stuff got projected there. And now what I think it's interesting is that, well, we can make all of that a construction geometry, I believe. Uh, there we go. That way we have it all as a reference in there. Very good. So maybe I'm gonna do another construction line here. Let's do have more or less the height. Yeah, that's fine. Go here to the side view again. Mm, I think that is fine. Eh, yes. let's do this line. So I'm gonna give that a dimension of say like 5. And then what we could do is a point arch that goes more or less like that. Doesn't matter for now. Then we can do another circle that goes. I'm just playing around in here to see what looks good. Uh, yeah, that kind of. Yeah, I would love it if the curvature stayed the same, but I cannot guarantee that. I'll bring the picture all the way here. Okay, it's yeah, to try to draw something that looks more or less like that. Again, really, it's up to you, like the design of like the front part of the camera. So this is where I say that you can be as creative as you want. Fine. And it's super important that everything is defined, and by defined, everything has to look black, like this. Because then what I can do is a big box that looks something like this. Wait, perpendicular. So once we have something like that, then I can go here to extrude. I'm gonna say remove. I'm gonna say through all. Oh, actually, I just messed up something that I realized. I make that a construction geometry. All the way to the bottom. Never mind. So now the profile on the side kind of looks like the actual camera.
You mean you the
Sorry.
intermediate point that is not like this.
Right, I can show. Yeah, but doesn't need to be here. I can show you again the profile.
Okay, yeah.
There's like a little change in there. While you do that, I'm just gonna play around because I think that the circle actually it's gonna be fine because now I can do another sketch on this face and I'm gonna project that circle over there and I can give that maybe. So at least on the side, it's starting to look like kind of like the actual thing. So while you're trying to do that, I'm just gonna add like a bunch of fillets, and like very simple stuff for now. Uh, yeah, so there's definitely that fillet that goes. This one all the way around. So I can add that one. This for now. Then I could fill it.
I'm not trying to have.
Is it good? Yeah, so now I'm just playing. I just added in, like while you were doing that, I added like these two, like four fillets around there. And then what I want to add is here on the side, there's like those ones too. So maybe it's not gonna look like exactly like this. It's gonna look kind of similar, but uh oh, maybe there's like these tilted. So maybe what we can try is adding like those tilted stuff in here. So to do that, maybe I'm gonna edit this fillet. No, this one is fine. Edit this one, and I won't do those two. Very good, like that. And what we can do is a sketch here on the front face that's gonna look something like those slanted lines. So we could do a big sketch that looks like this. Okay, that 5. I like doing these exercises because it's pure creativity, like how you design this stuff. Like you're just looking at the camera and you're trying to make it as closely similar as you can. Oh, why you saying mixed faces? Mhm. And then you'll be surprised with the results. Right? What are you complaining about here? Oh, that I see. There we go. Remove. Let's say through all perfectly. So now we can give. It doesn't look as nice, so we can fill it now here. And now we can go back to these two edges. Yes, you can fill it like the sides and everything. No, that's excellent. Yes, and I'm gonna just start adding like more fillets here on like the side of this stuff. So I can say, all right, I can add like a maybe that's too much. So I can say like two decent. That's too much. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's starting to look more like a camera. There's adding like village all around there. And then maybe one more over here. And this can all be like injected, molded, right? So that's why they do an emphasis on all of these things. That looks decent for now. Now, before we continue with that, let's add some of the curvature from like this angle in here, because if we look at this picture in here, well, actually not this one. I think it was another one from the, but you can see how it's like a little bit like curved. Um, there's like a little angle in there. Although I think yes, it's. I wish we had a top. Maybe what we should do now, or before we continue, is let's add this part, which is like the handle on the side.
Yeah.
So perhaps let's go here to sketch on the left side, and let's project this, this, and that. And let's see. Yeah, it seems that I'm gonna draw a line that goes like this, and then I just want the proportions to be like just perfect, so I can make that line in there and make it equal to that one, so I know exactly how much I want to allocate for the handle in there. And I can break this up front by maybe 15 or 20, really. Perfectly. Yeah, so now that's where we're standing with the camera so far. So now, yes, let's go over to the bottom side like this, and let's see. All right, so there's like a little bit of curvature, right? As we see there, but the curvature is more like on the that is on one side. Then this is also like a little bit, like round. Then what else do we have in terms of? And then this is mostly flat, although there's curvature on the side. So let's try and do a bunch of these things. So I'm gonna do a sketch here on that face. And what I think it's fantastic is that I can project many of these lines. I can project all of them like this. That way I have a rough outline of. Excellent, perfect. Of where we're standing here. Okay, I'm gonna project a couple more. That one and that one perfectly. I think I should project that one. Let's see. That's not gonna allow me. So let's do a bunch of circles now. So let's go here to 3-point arch. Circle there. Another circle there. They're actually all, I'll do them roughly very similar. I will dimension this to be maybe like 3. 3. Maybe. I'm just gonna complete. Oh, maybe here. In the front. Let's see how we can. Looks a little bit more round. Okay. So we can do. Yeah, so once you have like the circles like this, you can just extrude them. I want to remove. I want to say through all. So let's see how does this look like now. Ah, well, it's starting to look like a camera. Ah, very, very nice. This is. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I'm wondering. What do even? Oh, oh, that's definitely that. The thing that really makes it look pretty is making all of these fillets around it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like nah, it's just this is the start. Like now it's starting to take shape. It looks a lot prettier. Otherwise, it's just like a cube. Oh, I like this. Maybe there we go. Yeah, you just added like a bunch all around this thing. Actually, I didn't have a lot of faith in the camera.
Why?
Because it's a difficult thing. Now, having done all of this stuff, I think it's a good sanity check because the point of the camera, right, is to use some of these variables, right? Now, if I were to change this to 60, how much is this gonna actually it doesn't look too bad. If I'm changing some of these things are complaining, and I wonder why they're complaining. Uh oh, I see. I actually didn't use that one. If I bring it back to 50. What about 40? Would that work? Now that is complaining. Oh, I see. In other words, we kind of want some of these things to also scale with the size of the camera because if I were to change it to 40, right? And again, we haven't done like a lot of details yet, but you see like the zoom already looks a lot bigger than what it's supposed to look like. Now maybe what we could try here is, although I kind of like the camera this way, uh, I might go back to our original sketch, not that one, maybe the master one. And I'll make that maybe hashtag, maybe height. No, all right, let's see. If I were to change this to outfit 9, what's going on in the fine. Well, I think from just playing around with this that not all of the dimensions will end up working. Oh, like sometimes it's gonna complain, but so far from the ones that I've been just trying around, it seems that we're gonna have a limit of 40 to 60 in the height. Then the length seems to be fine. This one we didn't mess up. Like I can bring it say to 70. We're not gonna ooh like the dimension. We're not gonna offer every single model of our camera. And maybe this one, what happens if we do 30? Oh wow, it is working. Exciting. But I'm gonna actually I do like the proportions of this one. You see, we design just a singular part, but overall, once you start changing some of them, I'll bring it back to 20, and maybe that one, I'll make it 80 again. That way we're back on where we were. Okay, let me help you here. Good?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we got our camera here. So what time is it? Oh, yeah, we should probably move to the zoom kind of quickly. So the last couple of details that I want to add to this are maybe writing the word canon in there, and then let's add the, well, there's a bunch of things that we should probably do. Let's add the circle in here. Very, very, very simple stuff. I think the, like that, the selection circle, this piece goes there. So we can do a sketch in this face. So that is a flat face, so that's why it's gonna work. And we can do a line like that, and then do a circle that looks that a decently big circle. Maybe three. Oh, I'm just gonna add a bunch of details to this one.
Put the radius you put.
I did 12 for that one. Let's see. Yeah, maybe it that. And you can also maybe, well, actually, this looks nice, right? Because then, you're changing like the settings in there. So that's one button over there. Now, a very important button that we need to add is, uh, obviously I think that's the one that you press over there. Actually, um, we're not done because yes, this looks nice and everything, but we need to add like a little bit of, let's see, uh, if we look in the side, like it looks slanted like this, and then it has like for. So let's draw that. I think it's not very difficult to do, because I'm gonna here. I will select. I'm gonna do a projection, right, of this line. Well, projection like this of this line and that line, just like that. Of these two, I will project this line, yes, and that line perfectly. And then what I'm gonna do is, again, if we look in the side, what we have to do is something that looks more or less like this. Let's see. So it was like that. Then it's a round. So then we could do. So this is where you would put like one of your fingers. I would imagine. Excellent. And then what else? Yeah, I think that looks decent. Okay. And now you can just dimension all of these as you wish. Oh, maybe 5. It's almost perfect. I need to redo this sketch and make that a construction. Huh, why is that? I mean, I'll figure out that one afterwards. Yes, so just join the all like this perfectly. And now we're gonna do like an exterior box like that. And we're gonna extrude, remove up to face here. Now, this looks very good. It's just that there's that weird thing in there. I think I know how to get rid of that. This stuff. I think if we go here to fillet, and I fillet it like that. Actually, no. Maybe if you do it big enough. Oh, that is exactly what I want because it looks very similar to the
Oh, yeah.
the actual thing.
How much did you put?
Oh yeah, I said 5 in there. Well, actually, uh, it didn't work. Let me try. Right, so why were you? Oh, now it did work actually. Very good. And now I can do a fillet of. Well, I get excited designing cameras now. This is awesome, honestly. Wow. And now we just need to do the shoot button.
And how did you?
Oh, I just gave it a. I said maybe 0.5. Now fillet like. Actually, I'm gonna change it to yours. You see, I experiment on yours, and I like it a little better sometimes than mine. So I'm gonna make that a 0.5. There we go. And now because we can still do it, right? Because I don't think it would be a complete. We could add like that ball that rolls in there. Um, yeah, let's do it. I mean, why not, right? So I think the way to do that one is we go here to sketch, and we do a sketch now on this face, and I'm gonna do a line that goes all the way like this. There we go. And then we could do a little rectangle. Actually, I'm gonna do that rectangle like this. I'm gonna call I'll say that is a one, and I'll make that like. all the problems. Well, yes, but I want that to be a fixed dimension, so it's fine. I can extrude that by. Oh, that's adorable. No, that's fine. Okay, get rid of. I think there's a. What we could do is this one. Stay there. But okay. So just now it's a square, but if we do a sketch in here, we could do a 3-point arch that goes like this. Um, that should be fine. 5.5, let's see. I like that. And then we're gonna complete like this and extrude. Perfect. It kind of looks like a camera so far. I'm pleased. Oh, let me show you here. What can we do? Here. Oh, yes. Perfect. And now one last thing is this is gonna have on the other side. Uh, let's add two more features in here. A very big screen, so we can go here to sketch, and um, actually, I think the best way to do this would be let's go here to offset, and I'm gonna click on this line, that line, and that line. So it's offset, and I'm gonna offset like this towards the interior. That's fine. We can say by 3. But all of these lines, I will actually, well, at least these two, I will make them construction like that. Very good. Um, and now to dimension this, I think if I were to go to my friend the hashtag and I go to height, I'm gonna do again our little trick of 0.8 times height. So that I think that's gonna work. Just
It should bring.
yes. Um, so we can just now remove. And now I'm gonna just fill these edges to be quite large. Let's see. I think the last, so I can probably get rid. Well, it's really this, the last part that we have. Uh, and then we need to do the zoom. But the zoom is we're gonna make a very simple version of the zoom. It doesn't have flash, this camera, unfortunately. The one that we designed comes with its flaws. And I'll leave this picture, but we'll use it later. This one we might use it later. Okay, so let's do this stuff, right? I think what we can do is we can do a sketch that goes in here on this face. And what I want to design is something. Let's see, I'm gonna see if I go here to offset and I choose all of those and I bring it. Well, actually, that would work, yeah. I'll choose two. Good, good. Yeah, and that works. I'm starting offset of one. Okay. So now one last thing that we're gonna do here is uh we could add the like this stuff in there. Yeah, let's do it. I think so. We go here to sketch and we so we can do an offset entities of all of this stuff. Oh, hold on. So first by 0.5, then I'm gonna do an exact same offset entities now by 1. Okay. I will just bring these lines like this. I guess this is like the very last formal detail that we give to camera. One more line here.
Usually for me, it's already on the.
Oh, that's fine. Actually, it doesn't. You can so you can do. You can just close it. Perfect. And then we are gonna bring this out by maybe 0.5. That was I like this. And then the last thing is doing another one last sketch that's gonna go from here to that point, and it's gonna be a center rectangle that's gonna represent the I guess the view window, which you technically don't need because you also have the digital. But I guess this is a hybrid camera. Like I don't know, like maybe the this is to watch the pictures and this one is to actually take the. I'm not a camera designer. I'm sorry, YouTube. Before people go out there and complain. I can make a.
Why do we need this first?
Oh,
Line.
and we can do because now we can select the middle and do a rectangle like that. And we're almost done. I think this is excellent. selecting a bunch of these right now. And now just add live village to all of this. Okay. Now we've done all of this stuff and we have like 10 minutes to do the zoom and a couple of configurations. I think we're in a very good spot. I think let's do one last thing here on this face. We can go here and do one more circle. Actually, I'm gonna go here to offset. And I'll say offset like that. And then wait. And I'm gonna remove by 0.5 or actually 1. So this is how the camera would look like without that zoom. Now let's add a version that has, let's try, I don't need these colors. Let's try to make a quick version of this zoom in here. So here's what we can do. We could create a new variable here. So I'm gonna create in here and I'm gonna call that one zoom length. So we know that the zoom width has to be equal to that. And I'll make it originally equal to 60. Oh, I have to edit that. Doesn't like it whenever there's a space. So we need to, there we go, like this. Okay. So then we're gonna do a sketch. It's gonna come in this face in here. And for this sketch, we're gonna do we're gonna convert, we're gonna project that circle. And the length that this is gonna have is gonna be equal to hashtag zoom length. Now we're gonna make it a new part. I don't want to add it. That way we can differentiate between parts in here. Probably the zoom is gonna be the aspect that we're gonna work the least details on today, but it's completely fine. But I want to at least try to give it like this shape in there. I think to give it a shape like that, we can try now to do another sketch in this face. Let's do a big circle. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna make offset entities by 5. It's fine, and I'll make that one 25. So now it's actually not difficult at all because we want to replicate like this shape, right? This zoom like that. So to do that, we can do a sketch that is on this face actually, but we're gonna make a projection of all of that. I think that should work. So let's take a look at the side in here. So let's do a projection that looks like this. And then let's do another line that looks like that. So we could do something like that. I think to make it easier, we can also use the mirror tool. So that way we only need to let me just check. And then it's like a big circle, I see. Okay. Um, so let's click here on mirror and select mirror line. I'll say that one, and then I want to mirror these two. And then I'll grab the 3-point arch. I'll do a big 3-point arch. Is this how it looks like? Yes. And I'll come like this. Huh? But then I have to do a quick sketch in here. I'll help you in a second. I just wanna. Hmm. This is more. We're gonna say, all right. This is an exercise for the reader to modify that. But the whole point was to make a camera. That way we could do a configuration. So now is the easy part. Let's go here to configuration panel. And we are gonna create here we're gonna create a list. So I'll call it. So this version of the camera is the default, which is 205080. So we're gonna create a version that it's called 30 50 90, and we're gonna create a version that's called 30 60 90, then a version that's called 30 40 85, right? To give you an idea. And then when I go to configure features, I'm gonna select the width and then the value, then configure features, height and the value, and then configure features, length and the value. Done. And then I'm gonna just change all of these to what I said they were gonna be. 60, 40, and then here. Now this is the moment of truth because I don't know whether this is gonna work. And then another one that we're gonna add is a checkbox, and I'm gonna call it zoom. And for configure, I read done. Version. Perfect. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing in a second. Oh, I have to do it the other way around, I think. Last thing that we're gonna do is in configure properties. We're gonna add properties and I'm gonna say appearance. So let's have a couple of these. Yeah, I don't care about the zoom for now. The zoom, we're gonna say the same color. We're gonna offer them in different colors, right? So the default is whatever that color is. I think it's aqua. And then that one is gonna be violet. This one is gonna be red. Okay. Violet, purple. Okay. So just changing the colors. Yes, I have to change it as well. So I'm excited because I'm not sure whether this is gonna work. I hope it does. Otherwise, I have homework to do afterwards, and I don't want to. But so here's the first check that we're gonna do. I can take the zoom out. Okay, so it's still alive. Maybe the colors are not ideal, but I can unclick. Oh, let me show you up here. Now the next check is let's go to the first of these configurations and let's see whether it works. And true and behold, yes, it did work. Now the zoom kind of looks a little bit funky there, although I also don't dislike the design. And we could take the zoom. Yes. Wow, that's nice. Now we go into the next camera color and it works. And now let's see the next one, the little red camera. So I think, yes, I'll stop sharing for now. I hope you guys had fun. And I also have, I don't have a ton of battery left. So thank you everybody for watching. Actually, one last thing that I could show you in here is, yeah, so we're almost in the end. So the last thing that we're going to do is this wooden airplane. So we're going to put all of these things together. But I hope you had fun. Give the camera a shot. Yes, I think I'll stop now. Bye-bye.